Wait, is it okay now?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Hey mom, I'm on YouTube. Oh wait, I'm a YouTuber. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Resh and I'm running a YouTube channel that's all about languages and all sorts of things. And today I have a beautiful guest right next to me. He literally is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's Jay.
Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm Jay, I'm a British travel blogger who lives in Istanbul.
You live in Istanbul, but I barely see you because you always travel.
Because I'm always away. I think I've been here for maybe 2 months in a year and a half.
He's been traveling a lot, especially the Middle East.
Yeah, my favorite area of the world.
You gotta have to check out his videos because they're super interesting. And also, we have a video on his channel where we talked about Islamophobia. You should definitely check it out afterwards. The link will be in the description box. Jay and I will be talking about differences between Turkey and the UK.
Yes. So I lived in the UK for 24 years. I left 2 years ago almost. So I think I'm good enough to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, you're the guy I'm gonna be asking you because I haven't lived in the UK. I just been to London once. And I stayed there for a day only.
Yeah, so today we're going to be comparing the differences between Turkey and England, good or bad.
We have pointed out 10 different facts. What would be the first thing that you would think is different in Turkey?
Okay, so I think the biggest thing between the UK and Turkey is Turkey has much more of an abundance of culture. I don't want to say the UK doesn't have any culture, but it's like a drop in the ocean compared to Turkey. There is so much here, whether that's food, people living here, mosques, religion. Yeah, there's just so much here, and I love it a lot.
Okay. So what do you think is kind of missing then in the UK? Like, we have different people. We don't only have like Turkish people living here. We also have like Kurdish people and like other kind of small ethnicities. You'd say that the UK basically is just British people, or?
No, not British people. London, actually, one of the best things about London is I think there's people from every single country living inside London.
Okay.
Which is amazing, but London is very different to the other places in England. I grew up in Devon, which is in the southwest. It's very far away from big cities. I grew up in a tiny village, which is Christians. I just heard English growing up until I was about 18.
Wait a second, you just said Christians, really?
Christians, yeah.
I'm curious about the pronunciation because I've never heard an English-speaking person say anything else than Christians.
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 Oh my God, is that how you say it, or is it the British version of Christian?
Christians.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
I think it's my accent.
Is it? I don't know because this is the first time I hear someone say Christian instead of Christian.
Christian. How do you say it?
Christian.
Christian. It's the same.
You say Christian.
Christian.
Yeah, I say Christian.
Christian.
Like there's a
Christian.
I'm gonna Google that later.
So I actually went to a Church of England school, and every single Friday we had to sing hymns, which is great. So that's probably the biggest difference is the amount of culture here.
The second thing you told me today, you said that people are not so friendly in the UK.
They're not.
But you experienced something different in Turkey. Like, how would you compare it?
So the biggest thing I can say is in the UK, if I want to have a conversation with someone on the street and I want to say hi, they will probably think I'm trying to do something to them, maybe rob them or not be kind to them.
Oh really? Is that that extreme?
Yeah, like for example in London on the underground, people are just on their phones or they're reading with headphones in. They don't even look up. There's like a barrier in between saying hi to someone. Whereas in Turkey, I could talk to anybody on the street and they'll want to have a conversation with me.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I do have the same feeling because I grew up in Germany and I have the same feeling about Germany. If you talk to a stranger on the street, they will probably think that you want something. They might not think that you want to rob them, but they'll definitely think that you want something. You're gonna ask for something, for money. Pretty weird to say hi to someone you don't know in Germany as well.
Yeah. People would think it's some sort of transaction, whether people want something or they need you for something, whereas in Turkey, I could literally sit on a cafe and talk to 20 people.
Yeah, pretty true. And you consider that a good thing about Turkey. Some people don't like it in Turkey. I don't know. Some people don't like that there's no distance.
There's also a choice. And also, Turkey is so tourist friendly.
Yeah. I, as a Turkish guy, always believe like we're friendly and stuff, but I also hear that some people get scammed, especially in like shops or cab drivers. Have you ever had like a bad experience?
No.
Never?
I've never even spoken to one rude Turkish person.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
never been scammed. I think if you're a tourist coming here, learn the basics of Turkish. How to ask how much for something, how are you, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think they will scam you if you're making an effort.
By the way, did you improve your Turkish?
Not really.
Because you're traveling all the time.
Yeah, I've been mainly Arab-speaking countries, and my Arabic still hasn't improved either. So it's going really well.
Okay. You just mentioned that in Turkey we have a variety of different food and spices and everything.
Yeah.
All I know about the UK is the English breakfast, basically like bacon and eggs, sausages, fried food. Yeah.
So people in the UK are very famous for fish and chips, Sunday roast. Have you heard of that?
No, what is that?
So every Sunday it's a tradition in the UK to have a plate of food. You have potatoes, vegetables, and meat. covered in gravy.
Okay.
That's very famous.
That's a breakfast?
No, afternoon. People have it at like 3 or 4 p.m. in pubs in the UK.
In
like,
pubs?
Yeah, there's pubs everywhere in the UK. In the winter, people love it because you go inside this really old traditional pub from like 200 years ago with the fire on. It's raining outside always. Also at Christmas, if people celebrate Christmas, they will have Sunday roast. There's like Christmas dinner.
Alright, nice.
Yeah,
but you guys don't have turkey then?
Yeah, you have turkey. Turkey, chicken, beef, and a lot of people eat pork.
Do you eat pork?
No, I don't.
Since you're a Muslim?
Yeah, I actually don't like pork.
Okay. I've actually tried pork twice or 3 times in my life. The 2 times that I tried it was bacon, and the 3rd time that I tried it was something else. I think it was just regular pork. I like the bacon actually.
Also, another one of the biggest ones is obviously the weather. I think Britain is very famous for its rain, and it's not a lie. I think 90% of the year is raining.
Oh come on, 90%?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe not 90%. It's 133 days.
Oh my god. More than a third of the time.
Yeah. Even if it's not raining, it's cloudy. I left the UK mainly actually for that reason. Because of the weather and it's so cold and so dark, people are just so sad.
I'd be depressed.
Yeah.
You need that vitamin D, man.
Yeah.
I do know that some European countries have bad weather throughout the year, and same with Germany. I wouldn't say we have that much rain. Like, I would not have thought of...
It's because it all falls in England.
Yeah, but it's bad. I don't like the weather in Germany either.
Yeah.
So in Turkey, it's obviously like you have 4 different seasons, and you literally have the 4 different seasons. So when it's summer, it's summer. When it's winter, it's winter.
In the UK, it goes from like winter to spring, maybe 2 weeks of summer, and then straight into autumn. Autumn is amazing in the UK, it's really beautiful. I went back to London in October and it was sunny for the whole time, and that's the first time it's been sunny. And yeah, the weather in Turkey is amazing, really good. Makes me really happy. Like today, it was so nice. Being in this city, in Istanbul, when it's sunny, people are happy and smiling, there's music playing on the street, it's like the best feeling.
Weather, check.
So British talking about the weather for like 20 minutes. So another one is, for me personally, the attractiveness of people here in Turkey. I find people here in Turkey a lot more attractive than people in the UK.
I actually never thought of that. I don't actually know. I haven't really thought of it. Like, what do you find more attractive? What is it that you find attractive? But let's talk about both sexes to make it like equal, okay?
Yeah.
Both men and women. What would you say is different?
Okay, so I can't grow a beard. I can grow it like here and here. So I think I'm just jealous of people that have beards.
Alright.
I think it's just people's personality as well here. They're just so much more open. And for me, that's so attractive when people are confident or they're willing to talk to you on the street or go out and have fun with you at cafes and stuff. Like in the UK, people are very limited and very kind of stuck inside themselves. And I find confidence one of the most sexy traits of a person. So.
Yeah, same here. I thought when you said it, like, you only limited it to the outer appearance of someone. It's not only that, but it's also, like, the way they behave.
Yeah, and like...
because of the culture.
Yeah, even how they come across to you when they're speaking.
I
feel like they kind of just invite you in to talk to them rather than just being so closed off.
Okay.
But obviously people in Turkey aesthetically are a lot better, in my opinion.
Okay, you know what I feel? I feel like this is a video about how to promote Turkey. Like, is there nothing negative about us? Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Another thing in the UK, people, in my opinion, are very lazy with language learning. Most people that I've spoken to in Turkey are bilingual or trilingual. In the UK, people are very, very lazy. I even speak for myself in school, learning languages. I was just not interested. And I really wish I took that time to learn it. I even threw a chair at my French teacher.
What?
I threw a chair at my French teacher. You can cut that out if you want.
You just said Turkish people are bi or trilingual. I've seen a lot of people struggle with English, so when you say bilingual or trilingual, are you referring to people being able to speak English, or do you mean like other languages? Like those people who work in like touristic areas, they know, let's say, Arabic, English, French, like that tourist language kind of thing.
Yeah, it's mainly more touristy languages.
Of course, we have a lot of people with different ethnicities, like Kurdish people who speak Kurdish and Turkish at the same time. And then we have like people who speak English, but not that many. I feel like the English levels of Turkish people
are low.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also mainly more in Istanbul because it's such a tourist city.
Yeah, yeah.
And Antalya, of course, Izmir.
I mean, when we're talking about Istanbul, we're basically talking about 1/4 of the population of Turkey.
Really?
Yeah, we have almost 20 million people living in Istanbul. Wow. The official numbers say 16 million, but unofficially we have like 20. There's a total of 84 million, I think, in Turkey. That's basically almost 1/4 of the population in this city. Did you know that Istanbul is, by population, larger than over 130 countries?
I did not know that.
But I feel like the same thing with Americans. They feel like English is the #1 world language, right? So why would I bother to learn a second language? That's what a lot of native English speakers feel like. I do kind of get it, but apparently it makes people lazy.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that was my mentality growing up. I was like, why do I need to bother learning a language? And now, obviously, I travel so much, I'm like, I just wish I took that time to do it. Also, in the UK, there's very much a drinking culture, party culture. Typically, most people work their 9 to 5 job 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, Tuesday, Saturday, whatever. And then they will go to bars at night and they will drink a lot. British people are very famous for drinking.
Okay.
A crazy amount.
Not so common in Turkey, unless you're in a modern area.
But yeah, definitely in the UK. Like, I think there's more pubs than schools.
I think that's a good thing. Depends. I mean, I think even every bad thing is okay as long as you don't exaggerate.
Yeah, in moderation.
I mean, in moderation. Gotta go to the UK and check it out. I think that's the first thing that's positive about it.
Yeah, come to the UK, I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. But now, after Brexit, do you think I can? I mean, I have a German passport. How does that work? Do I have to get a visa?
I don't know. I haven't lived in the UK for almost 2 years, so I don't even read about British politics anymore.
But you do have the citizenship, right?
I do, yeah. Yeah, like in 2021, I went back for 13 days. 10 of them I saw my friends in London, and then I had to go back to get a visa. I hated it.
You hate it in London?
No, just in the UK in general.
Interesting. Okay. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are watching right now would die to go to the UK and stay there.
Yeah, they would. The grass is always greener though. Have you heard that saying?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Earlier when we talked about Turkey, you said that you find it interesting that there are so many different natural beauties. Like,
yes.
You know, you've been to some places that I haven't even been to. You've been to Trabzon. You said it was the best place in Turkey.
My favorite place in Turkey, Trabzon. It's insanely amazing. One of the most beautiful places on the planet, I think.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Why would you say I have to go to Trabzon? Like when I think of Turkey as a Turkish man, I basically don't know anything about Trabzon apart from, you know, stereotypical things. But when you think about Turkey and culture and beauty, you generally think about Izmir, Cappadocia, Antalya, Istanbul. That's the cities that you think about. How come you say Trabzon? What's so different and so beautiful about it?
The mountains are beautiful.
Okay.
So amazing. You can see waterfalls. You can actually go above the clouds and paraglide.
Above the clouds?
Yeah.
Wow.
In, I think it's Rize, really close to Trabzon.
Yeah, Rize, yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I went there summer 2020, and I actually recommend tourists to go there, maybe other than Antalya.
Okay. Wow. You should have taken me with you.
Yeah, next time.
All right. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that. But you said natural beauties in Turkey, but no natural beauties in the UK? Or are you trying to say that there is nothing?
I can only talk about England. I've actually never even been to Wales. We have some beautiful places like the Lake District in the north, beautiful mountains, lakes. And then I went to university in the south, right on the coast. The coastline there is beautiful. But other than that, it's kind of not that good. I think it's probably the weather that also messes everything up because it's never really sunny. You can't really enjoy any of it. So, but there's great hiking spots in the north. I think Turkey has a lot more diversity. You have great beaches, amazing cities, mountains, waterfalls. Everything you could possibly want in terms of natural beauty is in Turkey.
I feel like I gotta travel in Turkey a little bit more. I've been to Cappadocia just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I haven't uploaded the vlog yet, but I'm gonna be doing that pretty soon too.
That place is like magic. The only place I haven't really been to is the southeast.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't been to the southeast.
This year I'll do that.
I'm gonna do that too. Okay.
So another big thing in the UK is people are not really that happy with their lives, so they consume so much more than they need. Especially during the COVID pandemic, people spent so much of their own money on online shopping, like so much. I don't know what's it like in Turkey.
I mean, everybody likes to consume, you know, and everybody likes to spend money on things that make them happy, especially in terms of the pandemic when everybody was like depressed. But, you know, the currency has gotten pretty weak lately. I don't think it's not that we, as a people, don't want to buy and consume. It's just we have a bigger limitation. That's what I feel like. I'm not really sure about it because I can only talk about myself and my friends. I'm a little bit lucky that my income is pretty okay, pretty good compared to the minimum wage in Turkey.
Yeah.
So I have never ever limited myself when it came to shopping. I thoroughly see so many people who are struggling with even buying the most essential things they need in life. So yeah, consumerism is an interesting point because people are in a better situation in England economically. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
And it's pretty...
Compared to Turkey, yes.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's maybe because of that. I don't think that human-wise we're different.
No, but not. Maybe it's just because me, I don't buy stuff unless I need it. Like, I never buy things unless I really, really need it.
I do sometimes buy stupid stuff and I'm not really sure if I need that.
I think that's normal. It's just like, multiply that by 10 and I find that in British people.
Okay, I never spend money on things that I can't use. I do spend a lot of money on clothes and then I find myself not wearing them. So that might be kind of spending money for nonsense. But
a really good example of that is Christmas in the UK. Even growing up for myself, even though my family didn't have a lot of money, they would spend like 6 months saving up, have enough money to spend on stuff we didn't even need for presents. Even kids now, they will get a new iPhone for Christmas when they're like 10.
I want to be a Christian kid.
No, you don't.
We just talked about media in Turkey.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it in front of the camera right now, about Turkish media. Most of you guys know why. But you said that there are differences in media as well. What kind of differences?
The main difference is their view towards Muslims.
Okay, what is the difference? What is the British media like? Do they put a bad light on Muslims?
Yes. That's why I do my job. That's why I travel the world and show people back at home what Muslim majority countries are like, because the media, even growing up, even now, if there was a terrorist attack somewhere in the world, no matter what faith they come from, or even if they're not religious, people would just directly assume it's Muslims. And then 1 or 2 people will then affect 2 billion people around the world. And the media are so good at being biased towards Muslims, and obviously you don't get that in Turkey. What's the media like against other religions?
In Turkey,
Yeah.
I haven't really experienced negative stuff about other religions. I don't actually know. I really don't prefer to watch news in Turkey anymore because the media in Turkey is not independent.
Oh, same in
And
the UK.
so I'm not really sure about other religions. We barely see stuff about other religions. Because when there's something going on, when there's like a terrorist attack somewhere outside of Turkey, then we never claim that it's a Christian, or we never assume that it's a Christian or a Jewish guy. So I don't think that there is a strategic thing going on towards other big religions, but I'm not really sure of it. You guys might leave a comment in the comment section.
Let us know what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't watch any news now, like unless it's big events.
Yeah.
I choose not to look at it because, to be honest, most media are biased. Yeah, especially in the UK, like even politically in the UK is very messy right now. So yeah, probably the biggest difference is the media.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are the 10 differences between Turkey and the UK we just talked about. Quite interesting. If you guys liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to check out his channel,
Yes.
because we just also right now uploaded a video on his channel where we talk about Islamophobia.
Yes. Come over and watch that video too. I hope you like this video.
Yeah.
I also want to just say that the UK is very amazing in some parts. I think I just love Turkey a lot more. So.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, but I mean, I've been to London and I liked it a lot, but the weather was not good, so I definitely noticed that. So yeah, guys, see you guys in another video. I'm going to be having him as a guest definitely soon again.
Yes.
Because we're basically good friends.
Yes.
So yeah, see you guys. Bye.